Welcome back to MBE, everybody. It's this week at MBE. So we'll just start right off. Scott's over here. The customer said he wanted the push rod moved because they put different rockers on it, and they moved where the camshaft location is. So as that moves, push rod clearance is moved. So as we get more information as we go, we just keep changing things, so the customers don't have to do it. The last thing we want to have you do is put push rod clearance in, because I've done it in the past. I've worked in shops where we've had to do that, and it is a complete pain in the butt. So let's not do that, and let's get it right for him the first time. So that's what he's doing right there. So he's going to change the tool path. He has to draw it first, so we'll do all the CAD work. So the D is for design, and then he'll do the CAM work, and the M is for machine. And so right now we're doing a run of tractor pull heads right here. So these are like the blown Hemis that you see. So a similar head they would run in Pro Mod, Alcohol Funny Car, and Dragsters. These are all spoken for the tractor pulling, like I said. We got minis, and then we have so those are single engines, and then we have the multi-engine tractors, the 4 and 5, that we do these for. So we're making a run of those. So there's one in the DMG right now. Some of these, more up here. So we're just working all that in. We'll make a run of those. We'll get all those finished for the customer. And then come over here. Set a CID 12-degree forwards right there. So, okay. And over here it's valve jobbing a set of 18-degree max pulls. Can you flip that over for us, Ian?
Yes, sir.
Obviously, he just got finished. We should have been here a little bit sooner. But, you know, so all we got to do is just blend this little bit right here. And the hardest part, one of the hardest things about doing all of this, is making sure everything lines up perfect. So they'll go in there, they'll blend that little angle right there, and then these will be ready for CC and deck, and then we'll assemble them. So these are pretty close to being finished. Of course, this customer wanted to save a little bit of money. He wanted to put steel seats in. Probably nothing we would suggest, but sometimes you can only lead. You can't force them to drink it. So, but they did put the copper beryllium seats in, so that will save the intake valve. So a good move there, and he did coat the intake valve, so that'll be a good failure for him. David's over here. He's putting a pipe fitting on the end in the end of the head. This customer wanted to run the water out the front of the head, so he is working on all of that. And then we got one that's finished? Oh, yep. We've got one that's done over here. As you can see, there's not a lot of threads on this side. So in the beginning, we wanted to run a dash fitting there because it'd have an O-ring. It would be real nice and clean. But with not having enough threads to do that, we had to switch this to a pipe fitting. So just, you know, everything changes upon what we have to do. So, but luckily we have somebody like Dave here who understands how important all that is, and he understands if this isn't done properly that the guy could crash and hurt, or even worse. So it's nice, important that he looks at it that way. These are in line with the valve job right here. So all these heads are staged to go on the machine at different stages. Some only need soft chambers in them. Some need the first stop for seats and guides and all of that we do. Because most of the heads we get, they do not have seats, guide boards put in them, spring pockets. We do all that here so we can dictate where all that goes, so we can try and take advantage of some things. So that's what these are in line for. So this is all for staging, to try and keep it organized, to keep the work flowing through. Truthfully, all of us work on that here. It's not just me or Bert. It's everyone has to help all of that. And then come in here. Bob's mocking up manifolds right now. So this is for customer Roy Eisenhower, and he's getting a billet intake. So he had a set of 9s, and it was before we had the full flange on it. So because he has our cylinder heads, we're gonna make a full flange for it. It'll match the cylinder head here. It'll look real nice to fit his taller deck height, because he changed deck height on his engine. So changed deck height. He also went to the billet manifold. So he's going to see some pretty significant changes by doing all of that. And then we'll come over here. Here's an intake manifold set up for dual EFI per cylinder, so 2 per cylinder. So we take care of all of that. All that is finished. So this is ready to go. They just run their fittings in there, and then probably their atomizer injectors there, I would guess. Seems like most of the people with this are using Jack from Atomizer. He seems to make the best ones. And then, of course, Bob, he's just mocking everything up. He's got the shims on there to replicate a 60 thou gasket to make sure the height's perfect. And then everything is shimmed, you can see, depending on the deck height. So, and then we have to bolt the head down. You have to bolt it down to make sure it's not flat, because if you only bolt one side, then it can cock, and then it changes everything. And you won't know it until you put it on, and then it doesn't fit. And, so here's a set of Phillips small block Chevys. So these are just ready for guides, and then these will be finished valve job, and then we have to O-ring these and do some other work, but these are pretty close to being finished. Just repair work right here. You can see, every once in a while you'll hear people complain about the valve companies, but I would say that probably 99% of the time valve failure is caused by the end user. And here's a Victory valve that was completely blown up, and it's still in one piece. It's still got the stem on it and everything, and God knows that thing was hit more than one time. So once again, just using the right components. That is a true one-piece valve. And we'll get this fixed up. You won't even be able to tell. We'll put this back in the machine. We'll run the chambers and everything after we weld it, and it will look and run like it was not hurt. The biggest thing they did do, though, is they pulled the spark plug out, and now we have to weld the spark plug thread up, and they could have saved themselves $400. But it comes to us now. So. We're just finishing things up in here. First, looking at inventory, making sure all the customers' orders, all the parts are in for each order. It's a lot to keep up with. One person can't do that. I proved that last year. So now Bert is here, and he is making that a lot better for me. Here's a new set of 4 billet heads. We made a run of 4 billet heads, so we ran 4 pairs. So this set's just about finished here. These are a beautiful piece. So those will be over for Australian Pro Stock. We're pretty excited about that. We do love the NA stuff. We have nothing against the power adder stuff, but the NA stuff that separates everybody, the men from the boys. And then we just got some stuff. One thing we've gotten, we were having some issues with getting valves and everything, but Victory has been coming through. I would say we picked up in the last week and a half, I've probably picked up 20 sets of valves. So things are coming together. They're little growing pains. They seem to have gotten through that, so that's wonderful. So that's not going to be a logjam for everybody else, not just us. But yeah, so that's it. That's a day at MBE right here, and thank you so much for joining us.